Got a guest today. So let me tell you first, I'm Dr. Wilhelmina. I am passionate about wellness and I do makeup reviews. I bring it every week to you and I have fun doing it. So today I have a guest and she's Abby Stewart. So, Abby, say hi.
Hello, hello. It's so nice to be
Yeah.
on here with you. This is long overdue, I feel like.
It is.
Talking about
We've
this
known
for a while, so
Yeah, we both have. We should The
yeah,
collaborations are fun. When I
they
do
are.
these, they're really fun and we can just vibe off each other and give information together and I think that's really great. And now let
Mhm.
me just tell you, a lot of my guests see this in the replays more than lives. People have things to do on Saturdays. So
Oh,
you might not
yes.
see a lot of people on there, but they will see. So, tell them how we met.
All right. Well, I feel like this is 2019 we're looking at.
Yeah.
Um, Social media is a beautiful place to meet people. I will say
Yeah.
that. I've met so many wonderful people over the last couple of years through social media,
Yeah.
through the network marketing, direct sales
Yeah.
industry. Just lovely people. And I met Mina. We were both attempting a pharmacy business at that point.
Was it pharmacy where we met first? Yeah, pharmacy. I'm about to put this
Pharmacy,
on focus. I'm sorry.
pharmacy. Yeah. And she was just so kind and we connected and she still is kind. We connected and I just loved how just down to earth and
Yeah.
just at peace she seemed, she just you just seem like you're so content and you know who you are and you're good. You're good.
Nah, I have my challenges. I have my challenges on knowing who I am, but I'm learning over time. But I
You
was
were.
gonna say we met during doing our direct sales or marketing stuff, but MLMs. But through the time, we've always been there, got along. There's some strong people like Sue. Sue,
Yes.
we haven't. We're still in connection, and there's just people you tend to vibe with, and you don't want to lose them because you stop doing the selling of whatever the product is.
Oh yeah.
And so, yeah, I've got several people, and I sent this to some people that I haven't talked to in a long time, but that were in with us to see if they show up. But I don't know if they will. I can see them type. I don't think you can see the comments, but I can push
I
them
see
out.
a little comment stream on the side here.
Oh, you do? Okay, good, good, good. So,
Mhm.
hey, cuz, thank you for watching.
Mhm.
Thank you about the hair. I had to sit still for a minute, but yeah. So I'll pop the comments in for you whenever I get them. But yeah, so today's topic, it's called the bounce back, but really the topic today is that, and it's about resilience and how we've bounced back and what we've been able to do to help ourselves, but also we are the makeup queens. As a matter of fact, you inspired me today to put a little eyeshadow on.
Ooh, yes. That makes me happy to hear.
Yeah, you are the queen of makeup, man. I was liking so many pictures that I was like, oh, I'm gonna put up some shadow today.
You gotta, it changes the whole mood.
It
Like
does.
I put my makeup on like 10 minutes ago, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
And and I was like, I have to because I know it's gonna make me feel
yeah,
more presentable. I'm gonna come
yeah,
alive a little bit more, it changes
yeah.
everything. So
Don't you feel like you put it on and you're doing your video, whatever, and when it's just for a video, you do your video, you show the makeup, whatever, but then when as soon as you get off, it's off.
oh, there are days where I go straight to the bathroom to take my
Yeah,
face off because I'm like, this is
yeah,
itchy. I don't
yeah,
like the lashes and how they're
yeah,
feeling right now. So definitely, I most days I don't wear makeup. I do
yeah,
maybe a little mascara, some chapstick,
yeah,
but I like my comfort more than anything
yeah.
else. This is mostly just for fun and, you know, artistry and stuff. So
I have to do the eyebrows every day. I have to have something because they're so thin. I have to put a little something on them. But eyebrows and the dark circles, cover them, and I'm good. I don't have to have
Yeah, your
anything after
basics, the stuff that you
that.
just wanna conceal and highlight.
Yeah. Mhm.
Mhm.
So, I was gonna ask you something else about, give me a second. I'm very forgetful. It was about, your makeup videos. You're so creative, though,
Oh, thank you.
with it, especially lately. Those shadows you've been doing. I've been enjoying those. Yeah, I'm
I
not
have
gonna
so
do it
many
anymore, but
palettes, I've invested in
yeah.
products over the years, let me tell you. I've
Yes,
definitely spent quite a bit,
we
and,
have.
we have
And your color matching. Mm,
color matching,
mhm.
learning which colors go well together, colors
Yes.
don't,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah, it's fun. It's fun to play around with
yeah,
it and see what can I come up with today.
yeah. So, Verlene says she sweats a lot, so her makeup
Oh, okay.
make
Yeah,
makes her look shiny. Oh, me
maybe some
too.
more, like, mattifying foundations maybe,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
some powder application just to
yeah,
kinda set it in place. I know it's tough when you have,
yeah. Hot weather
oily
too.
or sweaty too, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also get that. I don't mind a little sweat, a little not a little sweat, but a little shine, a little plump, a little glow. I don't
Yeah,
mind that. I like that
it's
because
dewy.
when you have
It
old,
makes you
drying
look
skin,
hydrated.
yeah. Mhm, mhm. I don't mind that.
And that's not a bad thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about some of the challenges, what you are willing to talk about, some of the challenges that you've kind of went through so we can talk about the bounce back.
Mm,
Just
mhm.
whatever, because that's the reason why I asked you to come on because I know you're this strong woman, but there are times when we're not, right?
Oh, yeah.
And we need a little help. We'll talk about what's good, what's out there, but go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, I, I went through a divorce in 2015, and I had two children from that marriage, and so that's always tough. Um, I did the single mom thing for a little bit. I've been in good relationships, bad relationships, life.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but I think that what's important and what I've learned is to not be so afraid to be alone.
Yes.
Um, to not be afraid to really get to know yourself.
Mhm.
I feel like everyone was shouting that at me when I was going through my divorce. Like, just
Mhm.
be with yourself. Take this time. Take
Yeah.
this time. And I was so deathly afraid of just being on my own.
Yeah.
And I think in that time that's why I made so many mistakes, because I was just like anything was a life raft to me at that point. Like,
Yeah.
come take me. you know?
I've certainly been there. I get
Yeah.
it.
So I
Mhm.
definitely think that, just sitting with you and your feelings, your thoughts, your hurts,
Mhm.
all of it is the best gift that you can give to yourself when you're
Yeah.
going through something.
Agreed.
Mhm.
But I'm not discounting what you're saying. I'm saying, don't you feel like when you were going through things and people were telling you that be on your own, be by yourself, and it's just coming at you all kind of ways, and even when we're talking about relationships, don't look for him, don't look for a man. They'll just wait on God, right?
Right. Yep.
And it's a little difficult, right? When you have everybody coming at you with that, but then you're sitting there looking at them. Well, you're married. You
Right.
have a relationship, but you're telling me to sit back and just wait. You
Right.
somehow, how did it happen? So,
Yep.
yeah, I think it's hard when they're coming at you with that, but then,
Mhm.
but then you somehow got through it,
Yep.
and your life is totally different now.
It is. It is. I'm married again, and my
Yes,
husband is amazing, and we have two
yes,
children together. I have four now total, and it feels weird to say I'm happy.
but you are.
But I am. But for so long, I wasn't.
Yeah,
So it's nice that happy is my new normal. And
yeah,
there's struggles. There's
yeah,
lots of struggles, but I don't feel that desperation, that anxiety of oh no. Um, Now I have new struggles.
yeah.
I replaced them with some new ones, but
With others.
that is how life works, how we evolve as
Mhm.
human beings. We
Yeah,
elevate to the next level, and then we have a new set of of stuff to work through and to
Yeah.
learn, you know?
I noticed you're so honest when you post on Facebook. You put so much of you out there, and it just, I think, makes other people comfortable
Yeah.
to see, okay, I'm not the only one struggling with these things. You're not always all particular about everything, but you just really welcome people in to be themselves and to be comfortable with who they are. So
Yeah.
what would you say are some of the tools you used?
Um, I definitely tapped into my gifts, you know?
Mhm.
Um, I write a lot. I play music from time to time. Growing up, I was always very musical. I was in piano lessons, voice lessons. I wrote a lot of my
Oh
own
yeah, that's right.
songs. Yeah,
I
and that was
forgot.
always I don't do it as often as I'd like to
Yeah.
anymore just because of time and peace and quiet is like, where did that go? But,
Yeah.
um, but it is, it's therapeutic for me. I have just learned to face the feelings and the
Mhm.
thoughts that I was constantly running from.
Mhm.
And that was why sobriety is so important
Yeah.
because, you know, drowning something out with whatever your vice may be, it's just
Mhm.
you're running from what you need to really be dealing with.
Mhm.
Um, being in the present moment, it's so
Mhm.
challenging,
It
you know?
is.
It's so challenging. We're afraid of it. For some reason, we're all
Mhm.
just running from it all
Mhm.
the time,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I I always have this thought in my head, like, if I'm gonna drink, I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it if I'm depressed, or you know how
The
we
worst
learn
time to
that,
do it.
right? People have a drink, come out, have a drink with me, when you're sad or whatever, but both being you're depressed and it's a depressant, it just makes
It's
you
a depressant.
feel
Exactly.
worse, right?
Feel
But
worse.
it's part of society and what we learn. Feeling bad, go out, go party, hide it. But guess what? Next morning, that problem you're running from is
It's
still
right
there. You
there.
still gotta face it or do something about it. So yeah, I think
Yeah.
we we've been kind of um, brought up to use other things to medicate ourselves with, to not have to deal with things, and or we've seen it in our parents, and
Mhm.
um, we repeat the same cycle.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
true.
yeah,
It is
yeah.
true, and I think that we want to figure it out, like,
Mhm.
for me, I've always been a seeker, I've always been
Yeah,
very determined. Truth, I'm on it,
yeah.
I'm gonna figure it out and I'm gonna make a way. And I think that that diligence is what has also seen me through some really hard times because I
Yeah.
was just so determined to be well, on
Mhm.
all
Mhm.
fronts, just whole.
Right.
Um, yeah. So you have to really want to, at the same time, I think,
Mhm.
figure out your life and yourself, and you have to want to heal. And I think
Mhm.
sometimes we just get so caught in that victim trap too,
Yes.
and we get stuck there because we get caught in our labels. I'm
Mhm.
fill in the blank, and then
Yeah.
that's your badge. You
Mhm.
carry that with you, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
well, it served its purpose for a time, but do you really want to heal?
Mhm.
You
You
know,
don't wanna be from there all the time, coming from
right?
that frame of mind all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. Definitely agree with you on that. And I feel like we don't really know when we're in it how to just
Mhm.
get out of the rut, right? And like
Yeah.
Verlene mentioned, praying is an awesome tool, right? And that's true. It's helped me. Um, but for other people that necessarily don't pray to God, pray to your higher power, pray to somebody, something to um, help you release the troubles that you have within your
Mhm.
head, your whatever it is, the conversations, whatever you're dealing with, to go ahead and release that, right? All
Mhm.
that worry and holding on to it really
It's
doesn't do
holding on
anything
to
for
it.
you.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
is. Because we
yeah.
don't know what to do with it. We don't know what
Mhm.
to do with it.
Mhm.
And it's that
Yeah.
release you're talking about. But I
Right.
find that for me, that's always come through getting to the root of my problem,
Yeah.
and really seeking to understand, okay, where did this come
Yeah.
from? Okay, well, I just had
Mhm.
that thought. Okay, well, where did that thought
Yeah.
come from? What's the underlying, and I do
Yeah.
this detective work with
Yeah.
myself regularly because it's the only way to catch yourself
Yes.
out. You're just like, all
Yeah.
right, well, I let
And you gotta catch
one thought.
yourself. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, go ahead.
Mhm.
What'd you say last?
Oh, I was just saying, you let one thought lead to another
Mhm.
thought, and then before you know it, you're in this pit, and you're just
Yes.
like, well, how did I get here? And that's how habits are formed. If you
Right.
don't learn how to get a control on that a little bit too.
Right. You
Yeah.
can stay there for a while.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. I've witnessed that and
Mhm.
myself been there. Get
Mhm.
stuck on one thing and you're like, "Oh," and it
Mhm.
keeps nagging at you. You wake up thinking about it, it's
Mhm.
just it's a tough thing. And being able to release is just amazing when you can. It'll still come biting back at you, but just to remind yourself, you have your
Yeah.
phrases, of where you need to go. And you just, for me, I fake it till I make it. I keep telling myself, till then it becomes, oh yeah, I believe this. This is what it is. It takes me a
I
bit.
I I'm with you. I'm with
Yeah.
you. I know a lot of people aren't into that fake it till you make
No.
it, but it's a way to program your mind at the same time,
Yes.
and they fail to see that. Like, we're not trying to be something we're not. Well, we
Yeah.
are,
Yeah. We are, right?
but we are, but we're
Yeah.
trying to, we're
Yeah.
trying to create habits that will,
Yeah. Yeah.
propel us into a better place.
Yeah.
So,
Right,
yeah.
right. Yeah. I know I've had times where I was stuck on something, maybe with work. Oh, I remember. I'll give you an example. I had this, I had more than one, but but this one time I had a briefing at work. I was horrible. And I think it was because my boss told me from another one that I was terrible. And then I kept saying, "Well, what am I doing wrong? Can you tell me what is it?" She couldn't tell me. But when I went to this next one, she told me, "Oh, that's the worst you've ever done." And I'm like, "Well, tell me what I need to do differently then." Because she couldn't
Mhm.
tell me. I found my own mentor in the organization because when I saw him brief, I thought, okay, I really like what this guy is doing. So I went to him and he helped me with what he thought was a problem. But really, it turned out to be my confidence. I was getting beat up and I was accepting what was coming towards me. And I was really stressed because um, I didn't like doing what I was doing. And sometimes I had bad actors in the audience and I'd have to handle that, right? I don't know why they
Mhm.
were like that, but they were. And so it was really challenging to be there and to do that. And that was a really stressful time for me. But once I got that little 1 hour mentoring session, 1 hour,
Mhm.
everything changed because I was able to get someone that could give me honest feedback about what I was or wasn't doing right. And then I felt like, oh, I'm healed. I got it. Confidence back,
Mhm.
right? And I was much
Yeah.
better after that. But it was tough, right?
Oh yeah.
And I don't think anybody knew I was getting beat up all the time about whatever I was doing, right? Yeah, it was
I was gonna
a tough time.
say support,
Yeah,
is huge. It's
it is.
huge, and so many people don't have it, and I'm noticing
No.
that a lot,
Yeah,
especially working
yeah,
with women in the direct sales
yeah.
space.
Oh my gosh,
So
yes.
many of these women,
Yeah,
they're stay-at-home moms, and they've got bad
yeah,
marriages, and they're so torn up inside,
yeah,
and they're overwhelmed, and their kids, and I I get it,
yeah.
why they're there doing what they're doing, because they need an outlet for
Hmm.
themselves,
Right,
and they're looking for community. And they're
right.
looking for someone to say, "Hey, I'm going through something
Hmm.
similar. I'll take your hand. Let's walk this path together."
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and it's been heartbreaking for me. Some of
It's
these
not
women.
the environment though. The
Yeah.
environment we've been in with them, it's not that environment. I mean, you got your loving people that are there that want to help, and you can't help everybody, but want to be. helpful to the people that are with them in their group or other groups, and that's how we met. We weren't even in the same downline.
Mhm.
But that really helped us having that interaction, but there's a lot of them that come to it and don't get that. And I remember one lady was sick and she was bringing her illness to the group, right?
Mhm.
And where she needed help with this, that, or the other. But, we were trying to do what we had to do, work our regular jobs, do our, maybe raising the kids and do our direct sales. We want to be open to them, but we could only do so much, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I remember there being so many people that just needed uh, so many lives while we were
Mhm.
doing that. But some of us were able to connect and stay connected. So I'm really glad about that. And um, there are a lot of tools out there, a lot of places to go to get resources, depending on your whatever the issue is. But really having a support system is important.
It is. It is.
Hmm.
And I try to be that, with boundaries,
Hmm.
obviously, because it's
Hmm.
very
Hmm.
hard. Sometimes you get so invested, but I do
Yeah,
try to be that for as many as I'm able
as you
to.
could,
Even
right?
even if it's just online. I know a
Yeah,
lot of our relationships nowadays are
yeah,
virtual, unfortunately, but
yeah. And we did
uh,
have to do that for a while, but I don't think we
yeah.
had much going on during the pandemic. But you know, people bought a lot online though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I have a lot of friends I've met through what we were doing, our direct sales.
Mhm.
A lot of people I've met that I've kept in touch with.
Yeah,
You can't keep
yeah,
when
same
you're
here.
online, you got a lot of friends. You can't keep up with
Mhm.
everybody. But there's some special ones that you definitely will. So, yeah.
Yeah, I check in with 15 to 20
Yeah.
women on a regular basis, at least
Yeah.
once a month. How are you? How,
Yeah.
how are the kids?
Mhm.
What are you up
Yeah.
to? And I love when I come across like a fellow like go-getter,
Yeah.
like a woman who's got dreams and
Yeah.
goals and stuff.
Yeah.
We're always like vibing with each other. Like, what do you got going on?
Yeah.
What are you working
Yeah.
on? It's fun.
Yeah. But feel like I'm being negative, but not everyone does that, right? We celebrate women. We love women. We collaborate. I mean, that's why I'm here with you now. I'm always looking for
Mhm.
who's that next person I can collaborate with, right?
Mhm.
But yeah, they're not. It's and I'm not talking about direct sales. I'm talking about in general. You put something out there and get some crazy things. I had a crazy question someone asked me, and after I responded to them, which was nice, I wasn't rude. They didn't say anything back because I kind of felt like they were trying to make a point, you know,
Mhm.
with the message that they sent me, but it didn't make any sense. But anyway, thank you, Verlene. Verlene's always here and communicating. Others can,
That's
they
good.
just may not want to put themselves out there. But thank you, Verlene. She says great
Mhm.
tips. So
Oh,
anyway, you have to be strong. You have to be rooted. You have to um, communicate with your friends, grow your network. If you need
mhm.
to, get into some groups, different groups that are out there and start meeting more people. And you might have to do it virtual or you can do in person also. But that helps you to grow your network and grow the people that will be around you to, communicate with when you have your issues.
I
Or,
think another piece for me too was learning my value as a person. Oh, for
yes,
so
yes,
many years, I just thought so little of myself. I was
yeah,
my worst enemy, my worst
yeah,
critic, my worst
mm,
everything.
mhm,
And I just never thought much of myself. You know,
yeah.
People would tell me things and I'd be like, what? No.
What?
Yeah,
You're so
right.
pretty.
You're
You're
so
so
beautiful,
smart.
this, that, and you should be a model. And I'm like,
Yeah. What?
I don't know what this person's talking about.
Yeah.
But, that was an inside issue,
Mhm.
you know. And I had to
Yeah.
really start to learn and see and just dive into Abby,
Yeah.
you're worthy, you're worthy, you're
Yeah.
enough, all those things that we just don't believe. I
Yeah.
had to really, really like face myself with that and,
Yeah.
and start to love on myself.
Mhm.
It's important because without that peace, I feel like you're just going through
You
motions, you
really
know?
are. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you find any struggles with staying there?
All the time.
Like, stay there? Like, yeah,
All
you
the
know your
freaking
worth.
time. Are you kidding me?
You
I daily, I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, Abby,
Mhm.
really?"
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
every day
yeah,
there's something that comes up,
yeah. You have to.
but it's a reminding process,
Mhm,
over
mhm.
and over again.
Yeah,
You're good, you're okay,
yeah, yeah,
you've got this, you have
yeah,
so much to offer, you know you do.
yeah.
Just stay the course, stay at it, but it is tough.
Right.
It is tough.
Yeah, and you really do. I mean, you are very talented and beautiful, and you have it all going on for you. You can reach for what you want, and nobody can stop you, but you do have to believe it. And I find myself there too, because even after getting my doctorate, I just mostly I was okay with it. Mostly I was like, okay. I mean, I knew my worth before that, but that helped me because I was striving for something for so long and, you know, quitting and, and I finally finished it. And so I felt really good about myself. Then I felt like, oh, you can do whatever you want.
Right?
Go after
After
it.
that, shoot, you can do
Yes.
anything.
If you can do that, do a dissertation,
That's huge.
defend it, okay. Because I have learning challenges and reading challenges. So to be able to do that, I was like, okay. So I already knew my worth, but that just made it even better. But then still, I feel like I fight with it sometimes too.
Yeah.
Like all I need is one person to just come at me wrong or say the wrong thing. And then it's like, what?
Yep.
And then I'm like, what am I doing? And bring
Yep.
myself back, right?
Someone's opinion, especially a
Yeah.
stranger on the internet, that always
Yes.
I get mad at myself when I get upset
Yeah. When you do
over
that.
strangers on the internet.
Hmm.
I'm like, "You should know better." Like,
Yes.
these are
Yeah.
just, like, people behind a screen. It takes no guts to leave a comment on something.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It takes nothing. It's just like,
Yeah.
boop, and
And
you
pretend to be
totally ruin
someone else.
someone's day.
Yeah. Yeah. You ruin someone else's day. Right. Right.
Mhm.
Um, I think that initially it's easy to say, oh, but it could keep nagging
Mhm.
at you all day or down the week or even still today, right? It could still be nagging at you and you're like, why the hell is this bothering me? Like it makes no sense, but it does, right? At
I
the right
know.
times, it's devil coming in to get you. But yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
on
agree.
Instagram, so many times, I don't know, like, where these people come from out of the woodwork,
Yeah.
but they'll just like a random person on one of my reels or something will just be like, "This is garbage. You're ugly."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Ugh, go away.
Yeah.
Who are you?" Like, you really think that, and then I'm like, "Oh, am I? Is it
Yeah.
garbage? Do I
Yes.
suck?"
Yes, you
And
do.
it's
You
like
do that,
that's
right?
why I get so upset when I entertain it because 'cause I'm like, "That's just
Yeah. Yeah. Don't
fun."
entertain it. Don't
Mm-mm.
entertain it. So I have been really afraid of when I actually launch and put all of my company stuff out there and really go for it. Like right now it's getting stability tested. So it's got to have a 2-year shelf life.
Mhm.
So I'm not there yet. It's coming though. And it's so scary the idea of what's going to happen, who's going to, you know, come at you with what but you know what? I'm not stopping. I'm still going to do it, but
Mhm.
I get a little nervous about
That's
this
normal.
subject right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so normal to fear what we don't know. I've
Yeah.
noticed that about anything in life that we're uncertain or it's like it's in the
Yeah.
future, so you have no idea how it's gonna turn out. It's like
Yeah.
it's so easy to get all worked up about that. But
Yeah. Yeah.
it usually always turns out okay.
Yeah, it does. That was one of the questions I put to the side in case we got stuck. What is your fear?
I said I was gonna make a list and I didn't make a
Did
list. I
you?
guess I had confidence in myself today or something. I forgot my list.
I always do this. And we don't usually go to it, but since you were talking about fear,
Yeah.
I wanted to tell you that, but I don't normally have to use my list normally.
Mhm.
So, but just in case, I gotta
Just
have
in
it there
case
if I'm
we
gonna
need
have
some
people here.
backup.
So we've talked a little bit about some challenges both of us have had, and some a few tips on how we dealt with it. I have to say up front, I'm not a new Christian. I've been a Christian all my life, but it's helped me. It's really helped me because with what I'm doing now, it's so challenging and it's so still having a full time job too. It's so scary, the whole thing.
Mm,
I'm not afraid of what I'm getting, the product or anything like that. So it's really helped me to calm myself and not get in that rut you talked about,
mhm,
that going down, spinning, spiraling down. I keep myself from doing that from using prayer. But I know not every, and I always like to remind people that I know not everybody is religious or even spiritual. So I'm not judging. I'm just saying, don't assume. I can't assume they are, but this is what I use to help me. So
mhm.
yeah, I just wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, I put my spiritual, you know, life, well, I don't know how I should say this. I
Mhm.
don't necessarily follow like a specific religious
Right.
path anymore. A
Yeah.
couple of years ago, I feel like it was a very strong for me. It was
Yeah.
powerful for me, and I was leaning on it so heavily because,
Yeah.
my mother was sick and then she passed
Mhm.
away. And so it was very important, for me at
Mhm.
that time. And I kind of just, I fell away from it a little bit.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
started to question some things. And I think that
Mhm.
that's okay. It's honest,
Yeah, it is.
Um, start question, the Bible a
Mhm.
little bit. And I went
Mhm.
down my own thing with God. And I said, look,
Mhm.
we'll figure this out. So I've
Mhm.
definitely been sort of more of an independent,
Yes.
for lack of a better word,
Yeah.
spiritually. But I find that, stillness and quiet, you know,
Mhm.
prayer, stillness, quiet.
Yeah.
It really depends on you know. Some people find the comfort in talking to God, and others find the
Yeah.
comfort in just being with God.
Yeah.
So I think it's really it's your preference, and it's what makes you
Mhm.
feel connected and supported
Mhm.
and loved and grounded and all those things.
Right.
Hmm.
So let me ask you something else. So do you have, when you're sitting
Hmm.
with God and you're just being with God, right? It's a good
Hmm.
feeling. But do you find that when you pray, you fall short of what you want to say? Like all of a sudden you can't remember anything. You're like, oh, I was going to pray for this. I was going to pray for that. So I don't know. I just kind of find myself praying all day.
I used to do that a lot because I was like anything that came to my mind. For me, prayer was just like a constant stream of conversation,
Yeah.
and I wasn't overthinking it. I wasn't
Right.
worrying about what I said or how it
Yes.
sounded. It was
Yes.
just me living life you
Yeah.
know, with
Yeah.
God. And
Sounds like more habits
mhm.
of what I'm talking about. The habits of what you get into because you grew up in this, right? It's what you've
Right.
seen and
I
being
grew up
stuck
in
with that
yeah.
habitual
Yep.
instead of, like you just said earlier, being present
Mhm.
and just being
I
in it,
think
right?
it's a good tool, to get into the habit maybe if you're
Mhm.
someone who's not so inclined to prayer, to
Mhm.
start out as an intentional thing that you
Right.
schedule. I don't know.
Yeah.
And as you progress and
Yeah.
whatever, I think a lot of people it just turns into a conversation.
Yeah. Conversation. Like your best friend.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which one is you, Verlene? The one we're talking about just constantly all day and having the conversation with your best friend God? Or is it the ritualistic, oh, I remember we pray at this time, we do this, we do that. You know how church stand up, sit down, or which is it for
Mhm.
you? Tell me if you have a second.
She said that's
So
me, but I don't know what
yeah,
she
I
was
don't know which
referring
one. I
to.
think she's talking about the continual because she also said amen
Yeah.
when we were talking about the continual. Yeah.
Yeah.
But so we're about done. We actually went, I
Did we
don't
go a
even know how
little
long.
over?
34 minutes. Yeah. Yeah. But
Okay.
that's okay.
We can
It's
talk.
okay. Yeah, it's a good talk. It's a good talk to listen to, open people's minds about things. And that's really what we're about, changing mindsets and
Yes,
helping people in the wellness arena.
absolutely.
And so if you're watching, say goodbye to Abby. um, Abby, don't get off. We're gonna talk after.
Okay.
Um, and if you saw something that sitting with God, that's what she said, sitting with God. I thought you meant that. So,
Mhm.
if you found something that was helpful or you want to share it with someone, please share. You can go to my YouTube. I am Dr. Wilhelmina, and pick up that or other episodes we've done. We'll probably put this on podcast also, so you can also get it on Red Circle, and it's Dr. Wilhelmina on there. So, thank you so much, Abby. It's a good. This is just what I want.
Absolutely.
Just a conversation.
It was so nice.
It worked out good. It was
We should
good.
do it
Yes,
again.
yes, yes. We'll do it again. We should plan one to do it
We should.
again. Yeah, yeah. And because it was just this week,
Yeah.
we'll pick a different subject and you pick the subject.
All right. I've got lots of
Okay.
topics.
I know you do. We've learned so much in our time with
Yeah,
everything we've done. We've been in and out and around the circle, around the mountain with different agencies or different companies, and so we've had a lot of experiences to talk about. So
absolutely.
thank you so much for coming on. Don't get off. I'm getting off now. Bye everyone. Bye cousin.
Bye, Verlene. Thank you for watching.
See, she said you were great and beautiful. Everybody tells you that. I don't know why you wouldn't
Thank
believe it
you,
at any
Verlene.
moment.
I can tell you're so kind.
All right. I'm going to